and available to the public. So I'll do a few housekeeping. This is Alex Johnstone.
Trustee Cam Galindo.
Joined.
And just a reminder, so we, our phones are on mute, that I will be doing a roll call after every report or agenda item. I will ask trustees if they have any comments or questions, and you are asked to indicate yes or no, so that I do not assume that you just have not unmuted yourself. At the end of each item, I will ask for a negative vote, meaning that you will be asked to, if there is anyone who is dissenting or voting against the agenda item.
Joined.
And we'll just give one more moment to allow folks to get on the line. And again, please do remember to mute your phone, because we can hear someone. Someone is definitely not muted. All right, so I'm going to start. It is 6:02, so I'm going to call the meeting to order, and I will start with the HWDSB land acknowledgement. The Hamilton Wentworth District School Board acknowledges our presence on the ancestral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee Confederacy land as determined with the Dish with One Spoon Treaty. The Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt represents the treaty relationship between the Haudenosaunee Confederacy and Anishinaabe with respect to sharing the land and resources thereon. The intent of this agreement is for all nations sharing this territory to do so responsibly, respectfully, and sustainably in perpetuity. We respect the long-standing relationships with the local Indigenous communities, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and the Six Nations of the Grand River. And with that, we will now rise for the singing of O Canada. All right, folks, my understanding is that O Canada is done, as we cannot quite hear it on our end, but my understanding is that those viewing the live stream can hear it. With that, we'll go straight to approval of the agenda by Trustee Danko, seconded by Trustee Buck. Do we have anyone... Actually, my apologies. I do need to do roll call. So we'll start with, and then I'll go back to passing the agenda. So do we have Trustee Archer? Here. Trustee Bingham? Present. Trustee Buck? Present. Trustee Danko?
Present.
Trustee Deeth has sent regrets tonight. Trustee Galindo?
Here.
Trustee Miller?
Present, thank you.
Trustee Mulholland?
Present.
Trustee Paikin-Miller?
I'm here.
Trustee Tutt?
Here.
Student Trustee Meddy?
I'm here.
And we also have regrets tonight from Student Trustee Prozic. Also on the line, we have Director Figueredo, Trustee Liaison Officer Heather Miller, as well as our Executive Council. So with that, to the approval of the agenda, motioned by Trustee Danko, seconded by Trustee Buck. Do we have any trustees voting against approval of the agenda? Hearing none, the agenda passes. Do we have any declarations of conflict of interest? I did not receive any written notices of communication. Hearing none, we'll continue to move through the agenda. Confirmation of minutes from April 27th. And I'll give trustees a moment to look over them. And are there any questions, comments? Hearing none, we'll continue to move. Item 6, correspondence from the Honourable Philomena Tassi, Minister of Labour. She wrote to us regarding Mental Health Week. And I will be looking for, I guess, a motion to file and receive and from Trustee Bingham and seconded by Trustee Archer. So with that, we'll go through the list. Trustee Archer, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Trustee Bingham?
I'm good, thank you.
Trustee Buck?
None, thank you.
Trustee Danko?
Nothing, thank you.
Trustee Galindo?
No concerns, thank you.
Trustee Miller?
No concerns, thank you.
Trustee Mulholland?
No, nothing.
Trustee Paikin-Miller?
No questions, thanks.
Trustee Tutt?
No concerns, thank you.
Trustee Meddy, Student Trustee Meddy?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, and I do not have any questions either. Do we have anyone voting against the motion to receive and file? Hearing none, the motion passes. Moving along to our Finance and Facilities report from April 30th, I'll turn to Trustee Danko to bring forward the report.
Thank you, and through the chair, trustees will see on page 7-1 of our package, our committee report. It's quite brief. We had a monitoring update for our 2020-2021 budget development, and staff provided us just an update on the decisions they've made to date and reported that we have approximately $500,000 of budget remaining to be allocated based on what is estimated for revenues and expenditures, keeping in mind we still do not have our GSN funding confirmed, nor our PPF fundings. So areas being considered for that $500,000 include secondary staffing contingency, and trustees will recall that last year we added to the number or the amount that we spend on secondary staffing contingency to ensure that we could offer courses to students with the changes in class size that happened last year. We also are considering budget for health and safety training for occasional staff. That is something that is brought forward by the Joint Health and Safety Committee and does have a budget line associated with it. We also want to make sure that we are considering that we have budget available if the bullying brings forward recommendations in the fall, we want to make sure we can be responsive to that. So allocating some money to that would be helpful. And of course, special education is always an area that is a top priority for the board. So these are all areas being considered, but this will not be confirmed until we have further details about the GSN and can work through the rest of our budget process. With that, I would like to move the report.
Thank you. So we have the report being moved by Trustee Danko, seconded by Trustee Galindo. With that, I will move through the roll call, and we'll go from backwards descent. So, Student Trustee Meddy, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Tutt.
No questions, thank you.
Trustee Paikin-Miller.
No questions, thank you.
Trustee Mulholland.
No questions.
Trustee Miller.
No questions, thank you.
Trustee Galindo.
No questions. Thank you for the presentation. Trustee Danko?
Trustee Dees. Trustee Dees has sent regrets. Trustee Danko, did you have any further comments at all?
No, none at all.
Thank you. Trustee Buck?
None at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Bingham?
No questions at this time. Thank you.
Trustee Archer?
No questions. Thanks.
Thank you, trustees. So on the report moved by Trustee Danko, seconded by Trustee Galindo, do we have any trustees voting against? Hearing none, the report passes. Moving along to item 8, Human Resources Report from May 5th. As Trustee Dees has sent regrets, we have the report being brought forward by Trustee Paikin-Miller.
Okay, thank you. Under employee attendance, the staff provided an update in regards to employee attendance, reporting staff implemented the employee support and attendance management procedure in support of the attendance management policy 4.2 on September 1st, 2019. Staff absences have reduced by 0.74 of a day when we compare the number of sick leave absences from September 2018 to March 2019 to the same period this school year, September 2019 to March of 2020. We recognize the impact of the ministerial order on this data. During the current ministerial order, staff continue to support staff who are absent from work and are in need of support as outlined within the employee support and attendance management procedure. Staff continue to be on track to fully implement the Strategic Wellness and Absence Management Plan. And with that, I move the report.
Thank you, Trustee Paikin-Miller. So this motion to receive the report is brought to us by Trustee Paikin-Miller, seconded by Trustee Miller. With that, I will move through roll call. Trustee Archer, do you have any questions or comments?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Trustee Bingham?
No questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Buck?
No questions.
Trustee Danko?
No questions at this time, thanks.
Trustee Galindo?
No questions. Thank you.
Trustee Miller?
No questions, thank you.
Trustee Mulholland?
No questions.
Trustee Paikin-Miller, did you have any further comments or questions?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Thank you. Trustee Tutt?
No questions.
Student Trustee Meddy?
No questions, thanks.
Thank you, trustees. So hearing no further questions on the motion by Trustee Paikin-Miller, seconded by Trustee Miller, to receive the report, do we have any trustees voting against? Hearing none, the motion passes. Moving along to item number 9, report from the Committee of the Whole private session from earlier this evening. Vice Chair Danko.
Sorry about that. Had to find the mute button. Thank you, and through the chair, it is my pleasure to present the report of the private session of the Committee of the Whole held earlier this evening, that the Finance and Facilities Committee report from April 30th, 2020 be approved, including the Dominic Agostino Riverdale Community Hub Proposal Phase 1, Community Center expansion for a daycare nursery facility to service the local community with all project costs and budget being entirely at the expense of the City of Hamilton, and that the Human Resource Committee report from May 5th, 2020 be approved.
Thank you, Vice Chair Danko. And on the motion to approve the report, which will be seconded by Trustee Mulholland, I'll now move through the roll call to find out if there's any questions in backwards order. Student Trustee Meddy.
No questions, thank you.
Trustee Tutt.
No questions, thank you.
Trustee Paikin-Miller.
No questions, thanks.
Trustee Mulholland.
No questions.
Trustee Miller.
No questions, thank you.
Trustee Galindo.
No questions, thank you.
Trustee Danko.
No questions.
Trustee Buck.
No questions.
Trustee Bingham.
No question.
Trustee Archer.
No questions, thanks.
Thank you. Trustees, on the motion to approve the Committee of the Whole report from earlier this evening, is there any trustees voting against? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you, trustees. We'll now move on to item 10, oral reports from our liaison committees. Item A is the City School Board Liaison Committee, and I have no items to report as we have not met. Item B, Hamilton Wentworth Home and School Association. Trustee Galindo.
I was talking to myself while on mute, but thank you, Chair Johnstone. I do have an update. I didn't have an update at our last meeting, which was a missed opportunity, but I will provide that update now. The Hamilton Wentworth Home and School Association was scheduled to have their annual general meeting on May 14th. That meeting has been canceled, but they are looking at postponing it as it is the meeting where they have elections for their executives. We are yet to receive new information on that and should be receiving clarification soon. Now, the original local meeting that was scheduled for April 9th was canceled. They haven't rescheduled that since then. The local association has been doing a great job at promoting information that's available on our board website regarding the latest measures of COVID-19 and what our school board has been doing. But aside from that, there is no other update. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Galindo. Moving along to item C, Hamilton Foundation for Student Success. Trustee Paikin-Miller.
Okay, and I have the report, which is the COVID-19 Relief Fund. Hamilton Foundation for Student Success COVID-19 Relief Fund has raised $67,600 towards the nutritional and technological needs of students who no longer have access to in-school nutrition programs and technology. Under normal circumstances, the foundation supports a variety of educational and daily student needs in schools. School closures have resulted in a decline in demand for some of these school and student supports. During this time of uncertainty, the Foundation's Board of Directors has approved the reallocation of these funds, thereby matching the donations to its COVID-19 Relief Fund. To date, the Foundation has provided $135,200 to the HWDSB to be used to support the most immediate nutritional and technological needs of students.
Continue.
And that's the report.
Thank you, Trustee Paikin-Miller. So I'll just generally ask, is there any questions or comments to the report? Hearing none, we'll continue on to item D, OPSPA report. So this marks the 8th week of school closures. With that, trustees did receive a letter from the Minister and Deputy Minister on Friday, the memo regarding continuity of learning for the extended school closure period. This letter also contained, an update with regards to access to technology as well as summer learning. I will note that the letter itself was not fully detailed, so we look forward to receiving more communications from the ministry in the weeks to come, especially with regards to summer school learning. The trustees may have also seen that the minister issued a letter today regarding the cancellation of graduation and proms and directing school boards to reschedule those events in the fall. It's worth noting that HWDSB has already done that, so we're ahead of the game, and we originally communicated to our system April 17th, and then provided a detailed communication specifically to our graduating students on April 22nd. And so the community can refer to our updates under our COVID website of the April 17th and April 22nd if they require more, further details. On Saturday, May 23rd, OPSPA will be having a Board of Directors meeting, and we've just had confirmation that the Minister will be, signing in and giving remarks. Finally, OPSPA has also been having conversations with the province's education critics, including from the Liberals, the Liberal leader, Stephen Del Duca, from the NDP, Marriott Stiles, from the Green Party, Mike Schreiner. So that concludes my OPSPA report. And I will generally ask, are there any questions? Hearing none, that does conclude tonight's agenda. With that, I'll look for a motion to adjourn, and of course it will be put forwarded by Trustee Tutt, seconded by Trustee Archer, and I will go, I'll generally ask, are there any questions? Is there anyone voting against? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you, trustees, and thank you to the public and those tuning in. Thank you.
Hey.
Left.
Good night, everyone.
Denise Goff.
Left.
Alex Johnstone.